Hi, I'm Mark, and I do pet portraits as part of my work. And today I thought I would take you through the making of one. Now, as these take up to a couple of hours, we're going to fast forward. We're going to just do it as a time lapse going through, and I'll add a little bit of commentary to keep you up to date with what's going on. But first, I thought we'd look at some examples, and also show you that I use a tablet and a pen, and that pen becomes a pen, a pencil, a brush, an airbrush, whatever I really set it to help me build these up. I start with a picture such as this. Um, this is from Chris Arthur Collins, and then a couple of hours later, we end up with a portrait such as that. So if you'd like to see how that's done, if you'd like to learn more about my work, if you'd like to see how you could send me your picture and get your pet portrait done, stick around to the end. I've got lots of questions answered for you. So I thought I'd start off with a quick look through some previous pictures I've done, and we'll just give you an idea of the different styles and flavours of the work that I do. So there you go, all created from customers' photos, and 1 or 2 hours later, with some work in Photoshop, uh, these are the end results. So let's crack on now and take a walk through building one. So I start with a blank canvas, a slight tint on it, and onto that I build up a series of lines and strokes, not a full sketch, just to show the outlines. And then starting with the lights, going through some of the colours, progressively getting darker, I start to fill out the areas in blocks, coming around and using the reference picture to keep me right. And I can also take colours from that reference picture to make sure I do actually match the same colours as we're doing that. So once I come around the main subject, for this particular style, not all of them are done in a rectangle like this. Once I come around and I'm quite happy with how they are looking, I then decide if I want to darken it off. And in this particular case, I did. I wanted to make it a little bit darker coming around before starting on the main subject, the dog itself. Now, with traditional watercolour, you get progressively darker on top. You can't put lights back on, but I can. Because it's Photoshop, I can put a layer and I can go back over something that's already dark, which you can't do in traditional watercolour. And the rest of the stages, as you see building up now, these were all about applying different brushes, different textures, and lifting the colours out from inside the frame to make a frame to go beyond the frame, spilling over onto the rest of the canvas. And it was important that you actually pull out the same colours that are just inside the frame. We'll darken the frame. Oh, well, there you go. I'm now at the stage where we're darkening the frame to actually make it stand out. And that's more or less it until we want the details. So we go back in, and as you watch here, the eyes and the hair will progressively get more sharp, a little bit more of like an oil effect, making the subject really stand out. Once that is done, we're more or less finished. I have my signature, and then I blur the outside just to soften it all up. I hope you found that interesting. And now to address some of the questions about how it works. So where to go and how to kick it off. Well, this is my website slowly playing in the background as we talk about these things. My web address I will put in the comments below, but it is quite easy to remember: www.markahunter.com. And from there, as I'll show you, there's lots of opportunity to read more about it. So either from the menu or scrolling down through, we've got pet portrait art, and we click on learn more. And in here, it starts to tell you about it. Let's look at the process first, because this is where most of the questions come from. So essentially, I get a picture from you. It's either from email from this site, or it's from Messenger, from my Facebook, and I'll put my Facebook address down below as well. I then have to check the photo because not all photos will work. Some are too small, really small. Some are too blurred. Some are out of focus, or just parts of animals chopped off that a customer might expect to see in the finished product. But I've been bitten by that before, by reconstituting parts of dogs that weren't there, only to find that I'd put on a tail that was the same colour as the rest of the dog, when in fact the tail was black. But how was I to know? Once I get that and we talk about it, I then do a free draft for you. There's no obligation, no money changes hands, and I send you that free draft. It has a watermark over it so that it's not really usable, but it gives you a real good impression of what it looks like. And then you make a decision. Is it for you? No, that's fine. That's why up to this point, it's always free. Art is always subjective. So you may not like what I have done, and that's fine. You walk away, I walk away. Nobody's lost out. I've just had a bit more go at doing things I love, which is doing pet portraits. If you do like it, however, I send you an invoice via PayPal, but you do not need to have PayPal to pay. PayPal allows a guest login without any registration, without having to create any accounts, which uses a credit or debit card to pay. Once payment is settled, I then arrange a download link for you to get the completed digital picture. If you have also chosen to have a print, then I will post that print off to you. And that's all explained up here. These are digital portraits created from your photos. I commit to do no obligation draft for free. And only if you say yes do we then go forward. At the time of recording this on the 2nd of January 2021, they are my current prices. So very reasonable. For a pet portrait is £36, and for an additional £12 you get an 8x10 on high quality luster finish photographic paper, posted first class to you wherever you are in the world. Now, caveat time, I don't know when you're watching this, so please you have to check my website for the latest prices. And that's more or less it to do. You can click on the envelope, click on a messenger link, you can look at the terms and conditions. And here's my customer gallery with some of the other pictures I've done for people. Turnaround time, that's usually about 2 days maximum. But I will advise on that when we talk, to make sure that I'm very realistic about when you get your picture, just as I will be realistic and honest about the quality of your picture as well. That's it. That's all I've got to show you. So I'm going to say bye-bye, and perhaps we'll talk in the future. markahunter.com. Bye now.